Hey guys, this is Michael, teacher turned trucker, coming at you with a new video. This is going to be one that's much more on the personal side because we're going to be talking about some goals for myself that as I move into trucking. So this is going to be more personal character development, making sure I have good, healthy habits moving into trucking so that important relationships and my health can be maintained. The first one is, before we get into the goals, is why do we need goals? Okay. This is not something that I've typically worried about in the past. I'm not a goal-oriented person a lot of times. I don't sit down most frequently and think, what can I figure out that I want to do in 5 years? A little humor, my wife is very much a goal-oriented person. Me, on the other hand, I just kind of go with it. However, as I've been walking through this journey of transitioning careers, I find myself needing the structure, needing the measurability to know, is this the right course of action? Am I in the best position for what I'm trying to do in order to provide for my family? So how can you measure success? First, if you don't define it. So we're going to talk about some things that to me are important. Some of them are going to be based on my faith in Jesus Christ. Others are going to be very much family based. And then there's going to be some that are more health based. Okay, so first of all, right off the top, continue in my weekly attendance and involvement in church, my local church. That's going to be number one. Very closely associated with this is the idea of a quiet time each morning, getting up, spending time in God's Word, spending time in prayer. These are important things as they are central to who I am as a person, as a husband, as a father. So that's going to be the number one. Following out of that is the idea of, am I communicating, am I talking consistently, openly, sharing my concerns, sharing any frustrations, sharing my victories with my wife and with those close around me. When the idea of being on the road and isolated from my family, they're going to be that force that pushes and motivates me to continue and be successful. I can pull a lot of that within my just sheer willpower, but I'm doing it very much in order to provide for them because I love them and I care for them. So I want to keep that communication open. I want the communication to go both ways as well. Another thing is the idea of talking 2 to 3 times a week as a minimum with other close friends, maybe members from your church. I have a couple of guys that I talk to. One of them is currently a trucker. The other one is in the process alongside me or along with me of transitioning from his career into trucking as well. I want to keep those relationships open. I think those will be very good relationships to have long term, as it's also been very helpful in the stage that I'm at for the encouragement side of things, that not just going through this my own or on my own, or just my wife and I going through this, but having others that are experiencing the same emotional struggles, the same temptations, where do you want to go with this company? Do you want to go with this company? This one has these benefits, this one has these benefits, and having to work through those things. So these are some things that I've been very blessed with because I'm not having to go through them myself. So there's that. Another thing, and this is more on the health side of things physically, is developing the good eating habits. As we get older, it's easier to put on the weight. Driving in a truck, it's easier to put on some weight. That's part of why I've chosen flatbed. So not eating out as often as I would like to otherwise. I tend to stay away from breads pretty regularly. Need to do a little better job staying away from sweets. I've done better the last couple of weeks, working on that. I don't drink soda. I don't drink sweet tea. I know a lot of people do. Nothing knocking it. I used to live on the stuff, but now I just basically drink water and coffee. I like my coffee black. Shout out Black Rifle Coffee Company if you've never tried them. Not a sponsor or anything. Absolutely love their coffee. So I drink that throughout the day. So the next thing is how to know if you're successful. We talked about this a little bit earlier. It has to be measurable. So I'm looking at time frames with this as I'm moving along. How did this week go? How did this month go? And then 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. We have to be able to self-reflect and be honest, because I can very easily see a relationship just kind of going by the wayside if we're not intentional and if we're not measuring and keeping track of how we're doing, whether it's with our family or friends or church or whatnot. All these new routines and habits that are going to be kicking in, we have to be intentional about what we're doing. And then, am I eating fast food or am I buying my own groceries? This is back with that eating healthy one. I know pretty much what I eat for lunch every day. I get sliced deli meat of some sort, a little bit of pepper jack cheese, some carrots, some hummus. I love watermelon. I'll eat watermelon pretty much all day if I could. Fresh fruits. So those are the sort of things I like to eat for lunch. Maybe some eggs, something like that for breakfast. So as you guys can see, it's kind of personal. And the goal for this, again, is for me to chronicle my path and my journey. And in the process, hopefully raise some questions that may be helpful to someone else. As I said at the outset, guys, this is much more of a personal video. This is more for me to be able to kind of hold myself accountable by putting this out there, and now I have to strive to measure up to it. So if there's anything in here that you guys see that you'd maybe add to, by all means, let me know. I don't know what I don't know is a phrase I found myself saying my very first year of teaching, when the principal and others would come alongside and say, hey, how can we help you? Tell us what you need. And my response was consistently, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, so I don't know to ask. So very much there's times I feel that coming up with this transition. Again, I've been very blessed to have friends around me who are at various stages in the journey as well. But just again, a quick video. If you find anything helpful in here, please go ahead and hit the like button. Or in honor of my wife, she wants me to say hit or smash the like button. I do appreciate it, and feel free to leave some comments. I'm looking forward to developing some relationships with you guys. So if you have comments or questions, feel free to leave them below, and I do my best to get back to you guys as quickly as possible. I'm excited as each day gets closer to June 21st when I start at my CDO school. I'll be talking about that a little bit more moving forward, as well as probably vlogging a bit as we get into that. So if you have any suggestions, anything you want me to touch on specifically from my own perspective, just let me know. Looking forward to it. Again, this is Michael, teacher turned trucker, and I'm just keep learning.